The Cowboys OT is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Sleep Number. The new Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Exciting day for Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium as they move to 3-0 on the season for the first time since 2008, taking down the Dolphins, only allowing 6 points. Welcome into Cowboys OT from the Star in Frisco. I'm Lindsay Draper, joined by Bryan, Broaddus, and former Cowboy Nate Newton. And it's going to be a great show. We've got so much to break down and talk about. But Nate, I'll start with you. With the slow start yet again from the Cowboys, do you feel better at the end of the game, maybe compared to how you did at the beginning?
Yeah, I do. I knew, Ms. Lindsay, that this game would be like that. I knew that our talent would take over as the game go on. But I wanted to see a clean play by our offense. The penalties kind of shook me there, even into the second half. And I wanted to see our defensive line put some pressure on the quarterback. It took them to the second half to get going, but I needed for them to get going. So, defense, hats off to you. Welcome back, Quinn. I hope you can be a constant pressure.
Yeah, I think what Nate was talking about too, Robert Quinn. You know, we'd seen Robert Quinn in training camp. We saw him get hurt. We got the news of the suspension. He was gone 2 weeks, and we were all thinking, okay, what's Robert Quinn going to do? How is he on a pitch count today? It looked like to me Robert Quinn played the whole game. Other than late in the game, they got Dorrance Armstrong in there a little bit. But I think we'll have to see how Robert Quinn is tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be a pretty tired guy and a little nicked up maybe, but good to see him back on the field. Good to see Anthony Brown play better after last week, and good to see Dorian Thompson play well. I thought at the safety there was a couple of shots down the field that the Dolphins tried to take, and he was in position to make those plays. So good for some of those backup guys to get the opportunity to have success.
Let's take a look at how the Cowboys put all of their success together at the noon kickoff at AT&T Stadium. Dak Prescott finds Jason Witten, Bryan, and we saw some yards after catch from Witten today.
Yeah, I thought the tight ends would have a big day. I really thought it was Blake Jarwin, but it was Jason Witten that had the better of the production for the Cowboys. Nice job of Witten getting open on that play.
Oh, nice,
Amari Cooper, here's his first of 2 for the day.
Yeah, that's against Xavier Howard right there. So good job of Coop running the route, getting Howard off balance to make the touchdown.
Big stop here for the Cowboys. Dorian Thompson, there he is, the safety backing up Xavier Woods today.
What I liked early in the week when Jason Garrett said that this guy knows where to be and make his plays when they're presented. He did that on that play.
And when I mean backing up, I mean playing for Xavier Woods because he was hurt. And here's the ugly interception we did not want to see.
It's a lot of times, man, he's been successful. Guys, I don't know if Cobb's cut the right off too soon and didn't go all the way across, but he thought he would be there. And a lot of times you just get a little pass happy.
They picked on Cheeto today. That could have been a touchdown if they reviewed this.
Yeah, I think that's the Dolphins. Brian Flores did make a mistake, but great job by Cheeto here. Staying with the play. You notice he gets his hand in there, he's ripping at that ball, and he's able to get it out. And that's what made that in question right there, his ability to rip that ball out.
That's big on what Chris Richard preaches. This, too, hands to the ball all day long. Jalen Smith got a piece of it today. Yeah,
it looked like they got a defensive holding. You can see it right here, though. He does tackle the tight end coming underneath, but good job of trying to play around him and knock the ball down. Just don't have the holding to start it.
Next play, though, the Cowboys take advantage right before the half. This was huge in the momentum shift.
This is what happens when you continue to play hard, let your talent take over. Right there, he was spinning away, but Jalen reached his hand in there, knocked it loose, and I think Tank got it. Marcus Lawrence, that is.
Absolutely. Big things from the Cowboys defensive line as the game went on. They ended up with 3 sacks. There's Tristan Hill now wearing Taco Charlton's old number. Here we go to the second half. Dak Prescott rolling out, finding Randall Cobb.
Yeah, this was a good start to the half. Cowboys take the ball and move smartly down the field. Dak Prescott 3 for 3 on this drive. And he has spine protection and throwing the ball with a lot of confidence. Nice job by Amari Cooper once again getting inside and making himself a presentable target for the touchdown.
Pinpoint bullet hard.
And what'd you think of this rush from Robert Quinn?
Oh, yeah. They messed around there and put a left guard out there. I would have never moved out. I'd have defied the coach, but he took advantage of a guy that was not as athletic as he, and he came off, screaming.
Another 100-yard game for Ezekiel Elliott. Sometimes we focus on these receivers so much. It's the second that he's strung together in a row.
Yeah. From 35% of the offense to these last few games, only been 19%. That letting you know that Kellen Moore is calling a nice game, but Zeke will always be there for us. Nice run in right there.
Yeah, Jason Witten right there saying, come on, Dak, there'd been 3 games in a row. I'd have had a touchdown.
Yes.
You could just flip me the ball.
That's right.
Love the Dak keeper. Josh Rosen started to get eaten up at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah,
Big
man.
time.
D-Log just came screaming down inside, man. Made the move. Nice rush by Quinn outside to force him up right into D-Log.
Yeah, I have to be really happy.
Tony Pollard at the end of the game.
Absolutely, yeah. This is when you get into that 4-minute offense, though. And if the Cowboys have the ability to grind it out with not only Elliott but Pollard running the ball tough, they're going to be a tough team if they get the lead and they get in that 4-minute offense.
Final
Rush yards,
stats for the
235 yards, Ms. Lynn.
Oh, yeah.
2 guys over 100 yards. Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard just over 100 yards.
Yeah, once again, the third down conversions for the defense was good, preventing those, but then also the Cowboys at 50%. They continued on that roll from the last 3 weeks.
Just getting started here on Cowboys OT. When we come back, we'll let you hear from Jerry Jones out at AT&T Stadium. No, Jerry's probably all smiles right now, fellas. We'll let you hear that next. Cowboys OT continues here from the Star in Frisco. 31-6 final from AT&T Stadium. We will get into all of the game breakdowns, but first, let's hear from owner and general manager Jerry Jones from AT&T Stadium.
And played well enough to visit, so let's get in there and talk to them. But I was really proud of our team. We all felt it. Our team certainly felt. You'd like to have gotten a little more going there earlier, give Miami some credit. But then came back out and really started making some plays and getting the benefit of positive things happening. So it was really good,
All right. Little technical difficulties. We don't get to hear all of it, but what do you think is going through Jerry's mind right now?
Well, I think that he's happy about the team being 3-0, and again, it's about playing the schedule. They've got to figure out how, to manage that. The Dolphins, this wasn't going to be an easy game. If you listen to all our shows all week long on DallasCowboys.com, I have a Pro Bowl guy sitting next to me. He knows how tough it is. Charles Haley told us on our show with Lindsay the other night, he goes, hey, the teams that are 0-2, 0-3, those are the hardest teams to play. And for a 1 half, that was the case. But yeah, nice job by the Cowboys coming back in the second half, getting some traction, finishing off that game. He has to be happy about his way his guys played with how banged up his team was.
Are you worried, Nate, a little bit about maybe what you're seeing from the depth on this team, or do you think it's something that they'll end up working out?
They'll end up working it out, Ms. Lenz, but you can't lose Tyrone Crawford, who's a do-all type guy, inside and outside defensive end, and he can play the 3 technique. And then we lose the human log, Antoine Woods, a guy that we can count on versus any run situation. So when we lose those type of guys, it can be critical.
All right, we do have the rest of Jerry Jones. Let's go back out to hear that.
but then came back out and really started making some plays and getting the benefit of positive things happening. So it was a really good, good, I'm going to say, game for the Dallas Cowboys for what we've got coming up. And I'll say this, that Rosen's got some pocket presence about him, because I sure thought we had our hands all over him a lot of times. I'm just surprised we didn't get more sacks, but to his credit, he was able to make some plays.
Well, Jerry, was this harder than it should have been, or is Cowboys Nation getting spoiled to think that way?
Well, I don't know about harder. They've got a whole bunch of those players over there that were players that we would have drafted, and that's just the NFL. That's what you're playing against out there. And like I said, very early on, we were all over it, but we just couldn't get the play, couldn't get the turnover. We finally got one of those, gave them one of our own. But really, all in all, I think I wouldn't trade what it did for us to play a game like this at home. I wouldn't trade it if you said you can have a do-over and have a better shot at what it came
At the end of the day, you had two 100-yard rushers the first time since 2008. Tony Pollard, obviously, you like what he did in preseason, certainly complimented what Zeke did.
Yes, and I think that we all know what Zeke brings. Without being trite, this is a physical game. Zeke's a physical player. But I really like the way Pollard runs with some power and runs, certainly has the kind of burst. So I think he's going to be a big playmaker for us. I am anxious to see when we start doing some things at some point when we start throwing those backs the ball.
Jerry, how do you
get them
measure
out in the passing routes?
Jerry, how do you measure this team after 3 games?
I think that I wouldn't try to ask for more right now, and I know your coaches know individual players would say I've got more to give, but I wouldn't try to ask for any more. I think we're in the queue to go down here and play an outstanding coach, outstanding team, and they don't have Breeze, but boy, they've got a lot of really good football players. We have a great relationship with that organization, and we just know what we're into in New Orleans. And of course, New Orleans, I've always felt like Louisiana, New Orleans, almost like a second home to me.
That said, what do you make of being 3-0 for the first time since 2008?
Well, I would not. I know what this is, and I know what 30 years of this is, and I know how good to feel and appreciate getting to start off 3-0 with stuff. Really, when you get behind the 8 ball, you get behind the numbers early, you pay for it later on, and when you've got a little edge starting off, then you benefit from that later on. We'll need it all before we're finished.
Jerry, Dak was a little greedy there in the second quarter, but I don't know what you guys told him at halftime, but he came out to being with 8 or 8 in the third quarter on those first 2 drives, and certainly helped y'all distance yourself.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we're starting to just get just unbelievable disbelief when Dak makes a poor decision. We're just not used to that. Can that really happen? Dak make a decision like that? And of course, we also are so used to when he's got that, said, well, how about just running down there for 60 yards? Right. We're all thinking the same thing. I'm just proud that he's moving that ball around, came back out, really moved it around to a lot of different people. He really is seeing where the play is. And
it's nice to see Jerry Jones. He got 2 backs that both rushed for 100 yards today, but he continues to, yes, praise Zeke, but also praise Tony Pollard as well. We're seeing him get into the ballgame a little bit more each week, right?
Well, see, the great thing about Tony Pollard, guys, is that when you look at the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, in the drafting process, they didn't have to sell Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, when Gary Brown and those guys went in, the scouts went into Memphis and they were looking at this player, you know, Kellen Moore was watching the tape too, and he's like, whoa, wait a minute. I could throw this guy screens. I could line him up wide. I could throw him slants. I could hand him the football. I think a lot of people thought he was just a gadget back. That's not the case at all. You hand this kid the football, he can run it tough between the tackles. He's a good finisher. He's got a burst. So, yeah, Kellen Moore didn't have to be sold on this guy at all. He had an idea, a plan, what he would like to do, and he needs to do more to get him on the field along with Zeke on some packages as well.
It's just amazing that you got to understand one thing. We was always looking for this guy. We haven't had this guy in the last 3 years, a guy that we can put in the game and not have much fall off from Zeke. But what this guy does do, if the Cowboys continue to win games and get into the playoffs, this guy allows Zeke to take us over the top. So, hey, Tony Pollard is what it is. He's that guy that's some games he's going to get 10 touches, some games he may get 15 touches. Zeke is the man, but what Tony Pollard allows us to do is to stay explosive when Zeke is not on the field. And when you put them both together and you don't know where that ball is going to, it can be a real hazardous thing to most defenses.
It sounds crazy right now. Maybe the best thing that happened to this offense is the fact that Zeke held out this summer. And I know it sounds crazy to say, but it got Tony Pollard a lot of work, and he became very comfortable with the offensive line, and his teammates became comfortable with him as well. They played him like he was going to be the starter, if you remember some of those games. But the practices, the games, and all that, Tony Pollard got a lot of work this summer, and I think that is beneficial to what they have going forward now.
Now there's building that trust, and we'll see if Jason Garrett trusts this team after their 3rd straight win. We'll hear from him right after this. We're back here on Cowboys OT. Let's go back out to AT&T Stadium and check in with head coach Jason Garrett.
How we doing, guys?
Doing great. Slow start, Jason, but great second half, defensively and offensively both.
Yeah, just had to keep banging away really in all three phases of our team in the first half. I thought we made some mistakes that short-circuited our offense a little bit, turned the ball over a little bit, got behind the chains on a couple drives, had to work our way through that, but I thought we settled down in the second half and just came out and played. We're more methodical, good mix of run and pass, cashed in on the drives, and I thought the defense got better as the game wore on, and they did a good job keeping them out of the end zone in the first half, and then in the second half, I just thought we did a better job shutting down their run, getting after the quarterback, and limiting some of the big plays that they were making.
There was a stretch there, I think, late second quarter, then early second half. You lost like 113 yards in offense and a touchdown. Can you talk offensively? You came back and attacked right after each of those losses and went right back at it.
When you say loss?
Well, I mean, the touchdown that was called back for a penalty, 19-yard by Elliott.
I thought the penalties were a huge part of the game, obviously, and you can't have those plays. And we had some big plays that were nullified, and we also had some situations that we got ourselves into because of the penalties. You're digging out, and it's hard to have any rhythm offensively. So I thought that hurt us in the game. We have to address that. We have to do a better job in that area.
Talk about, Jason, how big it is to have two 100-yard rushers today. The first time, I believe, since October 12th of 1998, the Cowboys have done that.
Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah, it's obviously a tribute to the offensive line. They did an excellent job in the game. They controlled the line of scrimmage throughout. Getting Zeke going is really a big part of what we're trying to do offensively. He can control the tempo of the game, and we run the ball that well. And then, Tony Pollard going in there, and I told him afterwards he's running like an NFL running back. He's running inside. He's finishing his runs. He's playing tough. He's playing the way you need to play at this level. So it's good to see him get that work and have some success.
What was your mindset at halftime? Because they were kind of a Kenyon Drake fumble away from being ahead, possibly.
Yeah, just go play. Settle back in and play. Eliminate those mistakes. Be who we are. And that's really what we try to do each and every day. And our guys understood that. Didn't require a big halftime speech. Didn't require huge adjustments. It required us settling in and playing. Snap after snap after snap in all three phases of our team. We did a better job of that.
Some of those penalties today that we saw, and of course the media is asking Jason about it again, Nate, but some of those are from the offensive line that were just so untimely. You had one from Connor and Lyle, who's been playing great.
Yes.
What was up today?
I don't know. It's just sometimes, you can say what you want, but the worst thing a coach can do is can tell you what the other team is about. But when you turn on the film, sometimes, whether you want to, but subconsciously, this guy's not good enough, or this guy's not this. And a lot of times, the speed of these guys, of these athletes, they'll take over, Bryan.
I'll tell you what, I'm so proud of you for saying that, because sometimes the team is so bad you're playing against that your technique becomes sloppy because they're out of place. It happens. I mean, I've seen guys that, like, all of a sudden they're going on second level block and a guy's body control is bad, and to hit him, you've almost got to try and grab him to control him. Yes. And I think that happened to Lyle Collins a couple of times on that. But Connor Williams, when Connor Williams is bad, Connor Williams gets overextended over the tops of his feet. He can't move that way. He's a great athlete, but he can't move, and he gets attacked on the shoulder, and that's why he got the holding play, but he's able to recover. But sometimes it's just the team you're playing is so bad, body balance-wise.
Down to them.
Yeah, you get in the position to block, and you're grabbing them because they're so off balance.
Are you a little, yet again, I know we've said this 3 weeks now, Giants, Redskins, and now the Dolphins, the winless Dolphins. Are you worried a little bit that you're going to face some good competition coming up?
But it's two ways you look at that.
Okay.
You
Take me through these ways.
You see better players, your technique, the coach don't have to say, hey, man, get this hand inside, make you set. You're going to tighten up mentally and physically. But then it also comes sometimes give you that self-confidence that, I got this. You're not going to be able to recover. We recover because, a guy turns his back and it reaches out and you get a fumble. Or they do a holding play and all of a sudden it brings the ball back. The better teams, the preseason is over for the Dallas Cowboys.
Exactly. That's why this was so important today.
This thing finna start rolling.
Well, yeah, but you can't afford those. And you could see that on Coach Garrett's face.
Yes.
You could see the concern. They had a 72-yard touchdown call back on a holding penalty. You're playing the Packers, the Saints, the Patriots. You have one of those plays called back where you're fighting for inches in a game, and you get one of those.
Cost you the game.
It costs you the game, yeah.
All right, we got to take another break, but when we come back, we'll talk about the young back, Tony Pollard, and what all he can bring to the Cowboys as they move into Week 4.
With him, running the ball the way that he does, and whenever he needs one, just for me to come in, to pick up right where he left off with no, slack or no drop off from him being in the game. So, it just shows the bond that we have.
A lot of people wonder what would happen.
Got a young 100-yard rusher talking about your veteran 100-yard rusher. Everybody's happy. Everybody's present. You got to be. Jerry Jones, he didn't even know which one to talk about. He was so excited. You got to have both of them.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this offense so difficult to deal with. The fact that, again, the fact that Tony Pollard got to be really the primary back all through training camp. He answered all the questions as far as his abilities and stuff, and now you're seeing it. The people that scouted him at Memphis know that he catch the ball, know that he could run the football, know he's a tough kid. But this guy right here, I tell you what, though, Ezekiel Elliott, what he was able to do, just the way he finishes forward. That both backs today, again, it's the Dolphins defense, I get it. But with Ezekiel, we're even starting to see, more of that just every time, boom, boom, falling forward, going forward, not getting knocked back, everything about it, attacking the line of scrimmage. And that's the best thing about this Cowboys running game. It was attacking today.
And you see how Zeke easily walks off the field now and gives way to Tony Pollard. I mean, the ability for both of these guys to make plays, catch the ball out of the backfield, run screens, it doesn't matter. As the season goes on, it'll be more and more Zeke. But for Tony Pollard to come in and finish the game the way he did, like I said, it was the Miami Dolphins, and everybody was like, okay, that's who it is. But this kid ran through some nice open holes. He was explosive. He ran through tackles. That touchdown.
Right.
He runs through tackles.
Absolutely.
He runs with authority. He runs with patience. And I agree with Broaddus for Zeke to spend them 40 days and wherever he was.
40 days and 40 nights.
Yeah, 40 days and 40 nights, wherever he was. Hey, hats off to Pollard, man.
Well, we saw in the preseason in the game we did in Hawaii that we called the game on the sun that we did. But we saw him run through tackles. I'm talking about Tony Pollard. That touchdown run he had, running through second level, running through. That's the kind of toughness he has. But now it's on Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore needs to figure out ways to get both of them on the field at the same time and create doubt, issues, explosive plays for his offense. I think he will. You got him running the ball, Zeke running the ball, and the threat of Dak Prescott running the ball. I think Kellen Moore could become really creative that way.
19 for 125 for Zeke, 13 for 103 for Tony Pollard. See, I'm about a 7.9 average, talking about a 6.6 point average. And then you got Dak carrying it for 2 times for 3.5 touchdowns coming. This is how you control the clock with 2 dynamic running backs with a quarterback that can possibly do the same thing. Now you're averaging 30, 31 minutes with touchdowns.
Yeah, but the analytics guys and gals will all be all like, you can't do that. You can't run the ball. This is the way this team can win games this year. Continue to win games. I mean, we always strive for balance and talk about they could throw the football. There's no question. But the physicality which with these backs and this offensive line plays with, that could very well be your difference.
That's
right
what
there.
was beautiful about today is you see a 30-yard pass, a 40-yard pass to someone, and the defense is running to get to the line of scrimmage, and then boom, there goes Zeke for 15 yards. I mean, it's very difficult to defend. What? It's so funny.
Hey, no. Our all-pro Pro Bowl guard will tell you though, this kind of offense travels.
Yes.
He will talk. We will get to week 14, 15, and he will say, this kind of offense travels. I think just get ready for it.
Just think next week now, you're gonna have some trying times against a good Saints team, and all of a sudden Jason may be for the first time say, hey, Kellen, we got to rely on our run game just to settle people down, just to get everybody back into a rhythm. Or the Saints may have a 5 or 6 minute minute drive. Hey, we need to settle this down, and it don't matter who's in there, Pollard or Zeke. settle this thing down, get your offensive lineman back settled. And this is where this game will travel.
The offensive line meeting room this week, just looking at their penalties from this week.
They can clean this up.
Yeah.
It's about clean. They can clean this up, and Colombo will clean it up. Like Broaddus said, you saw the stress on Coach Garrett's face. He will be talking to Colombo tomorrow. Like, hey man, we need to clean this up.
They had some huge plays that got big chunk plays that got called back, and then again the touchdown that got called back. I can't stress that even anymore.
First 3 weeks are over.
Oh,
these games
are over. Is over.
The preseason.
The learning curve of, hey, Kellen, what do you think about this guy? Hey, Coach, what do you think about this guy? What is this receiver doing? These coaches know who is who, how to play them, when to put them in the game. Everybody's stable now. It's time to put your foot on the gas and just drive 100 miles down the road. Fast as you can.
And the defense
starts in New Orleans this week.
Defense, you need to do the same. We're here to tell you that and talk about this Cowboys defense right after this.
Pretty good, all season I trained pretty hard. Even the time I trained pretty hard. So when I didn't make my return, I wasn't too far. So I felt pretty good all game. I don't know how many snaps I got, but I think it was over 50. So I think that's pretty good for the first game. But
congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Over 50 snaps in the first game back. I did not think it would be that many.
Well, when it started rolling around where Crawford wasn't going to play, and then it was like, well, maybe that they're using Quinn in practice, to kind of get him back acclimated to going. And I was thinking, well, maybe they'll start Dorrance Armstrong. No, just go ahead, get out there and give it a go there, Robert Quinn. But nice job. He held up. I think he held up pretty well on that. I look forward to seeing the tape about it tonight.
He had a basic foundation up on him. He did OTAs. He did all of training camp.
Sure did.
So it had a foundation up on him. All they had to do was just maintain. That was an ugly hit.
I did not want to see
that. Yeah, that was an ugly hit.
Jeff Heath was going for the ball.
Yes, he was.
After last week, when Jeff Heath missed an interception and hit him in the head, he had no choice but to go for this football right there. He chased it. He didn't lay his helmet in there. He was going for the football. That's just the way Jeff Heath plays.
Yeah.
He kind of goes after it.
Reckless abandon, man.
Very hard hitter, reckless abandon. How'd Byron Jones look to you guys today?
He looked fresh early, man. He looked real fresh, man.
I feel like Byron Jones. They keep trying to attack Byron Jones, and he's coming back from the hip injury and all that surgery. Credit to himself, Britt Brown, and those guys for the way he's playing right now.
Darian Thompson right there, man, came up, made a nice hit, man.
I was worried about him, by the way. I was worried about the ball going down the field and him not making enough plays. I really was.
Well, Robert Quinn, obviously former Miami Dolphin, traded him away back in March, April, and got some revenge today with the sack on his former team. He did it with some violets, too.
He did. Yeah, he did.
He was wanting that.
I'll tell you what, though, he was you see the explosiveness off the ball. That's what Robert Quinn can win on that first step. And when he can win on his first step, he can get that corner and then get around and cause some problems.
That's what we've been needing on that right defensive end, man. Is somebody that's a true threat, so it helps DeMarcus Lawrence be who he is. Now all we got to do is get that constant pressure coming from the middle, and this thing will be ugly. I mean, Malik Collins did what he had to do today, too.
Yeah, they built a lead and then rushed the passer. Reminds me very much of when I was at the Green Bay Packers, the Dallas Cowboys of old. Build a lead, and that pass rush comes after you, though. It took some time, and I still think there's some concern. I got concern. I think there's still some concern, but once they built that lead, they were able to get after Josh Rosen a little bit today.
Tank coming downhill, right there. You see Anthony Brown coming downhill, making plays, man. And I hate to say this, but Miami is what the doctor ordered, man. We needed to get things going. And you see right there, Quinn, riding a horse or something. I don't know what he was doing.
He's a cowboy now.
Yeah, so this is what we needed. Especially in the second half, they pressed upon them. The coaches, the coordinators, they pressed upon them. Hey, we need for y'all to show up and play Cowboy football. In the second half, they came out and did it, Broaddus.
They sure did. It was good. It was a good win. Second half, I thought, was so much better. Running the football and then playing good team defense.
And that's what I was asking Bryan and Nate during halftime is, what are they going to say? Because it was 10-6 at half.
Yes.
I mean, very close, very slow, sluggish start, Bryan.
Yeah, but last week in the New England game, it was 7-0 going into half. Patriots scored a touchdown to make it 13-0. And so, yeah, for a half, it seems like the Dolphins are a really good team. And then for the other half, not so much.
It's just who can make the adjustments, who can come out different.
It's depth, it's playing with discipline, and then letting your athletic ability take over. And that's probably all Jason told him, and the defensive coordinator. I was going to say, look here, fellas, play discipline ball. Let your athletic ability take over. And player for player, Miami cannot match up with us on either side of the ball. And as the game went over, it just took over. All of a sudden, 31-6.
Yeah, but why did I think that the defensive linemen were all in a little group, and Rod Marinelli, every other word was probably getting bleeped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe Chris Richard was like, okay, guys, adjustment. Why do I feel like Rod Marinelli was just going off on his guys in that halftime, that 12 minutes? Those guys came out with a little bit different attitudes.
Maybe Tristan Hill, wide-eyed in there as well, his first half of football. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we will hear and talk about QB1, Dak Prescott, who again set some records today. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I told Taco, obviously, good luck. Good luck on everything. I didn't tell him congrats on that sack or anything. I mean, that was whatever. I could have thrown it away, but he got that. He can have that one.
Why did you throw it away?
Completion percentage. Thank y'all.
Okay, as the big sister of a quarterback, I was about to say he does not want that incompletion. He'll take the sack instead. Here's the numbers from Dak Prescott today. He's not too worried about it. The ugly interception, but 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I think the throw he'd like to have back is the interception. Maybe too much time on the play. He was just trying to find everybody downfield, and he threw the ball to a spot. You don't throw it to the middle of the field. There's too many people. If you're going to do that, throw it out of bounds, throw it to the sidelines, though. But, he did a nice job. He hung in there. A little pressure for him, but he found receiver. That's what Dak Prescott's been able to do, is survey down the field, keep the vision down the field, keep the eyes down the field. We see the mobility right here. And he's just going to find, good job by Jason Witten, kind of realizing, staying in bounds, getting up the sidelines. Great job by Dak, seeing him and getting him to football.
Were you impressed with the way, Nate, that they were still able to move the ball around without Michael Gallup?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because my big thing, and I tell you guys all the time, we did this thing last year with just him and Amari Cooper. Now that these other guys see how a real professional do it in Amari Cooper, now these guys are emulating by running the precise routes, catching the ball, making things happen. Look here, 19 for 32. That's about what we think it's going to be, 246 yards, 7.7 average. Like I say, the bad throw, the interception, we normally don't have that. 2 TDs. This dude is doing what he needs to do. His decision-making is pretty nice. Like you say, you got to look careless, threw the ball back to the middle of the field. We don't do that. Look, Amari Cooper is a beast. We don't do that.
I'll tell you what, though, the addition of Randall Cobb to the offense has been huge. And I know it's only 3 games, but he opens up so much in the middle of this field, and his ability to catch the screens. He would have had over 100 yards receiving today if they didn't have that one called back. He would have had a touchdown there. But I'll tell you what, he does so much more than what you had with Cole Beasley for this offense.
All right, let's go hear more from Dak Prescott, our quarterback and comedian today at AT&T Stadium. After the game.
Yeah, I mean, I told Taco, obviously, good luck. Good luck on everything. I didn't tell him congrats on that sack or anything. I mean, that was whatever. I could have thrown it away, but he got that. He can have that one.
Why did you throw it away?
Completion percentage.
After the game.
Yeah, I mean, I told Taco, obviously, good luck. Good luck on everything. I didn't tell him congrats on that sack or anything. I mean, that was whatever.
All right, technical difficulties. We just wanted to make sure you caught the joke.
Hammer that point home.
Hammer it home, baby. How weird do you think it was for Taco, though, I mean, props to him. He got in the game and did something, right?
Yeah, he did. And, it's funny. I was watching him on one particular play, and it looked like
shaking your head.
Lyle Collins had him. It reminded me of training camp. Lyle Collins had knocked him down and was on top of him. Just was holding his hands on top of him. And I'm sure he was like, no, wait, I've seen this. I've seen all your spin moves and upfield moves and all that. But, yeah, it had to be unusual for him. And good for him to get an opportunity. The Dolphins are not going anywhere. He's a young guy. Hopefully he'll go in there and fit. Charles Harris was a guy I thought was going to play really well for the Dolphins today as my guy for the Dolphins to keep an eye on. But Tyron Smith and those guys just did a tremendous job on them. Dolphins need pass rush help. Obviously, you saw it with this. Maybe Taco could be that guy.
He's not going to be that guy unless he changes his attitude. I keep it real.
Or his toughness. The toughness. Yeah. Marinelli talks about his toughness.
Change your attitude, son.
Yeah.
You got the body of a Tarzan. Let that mindset stick in. Yeah. Be aggressive all the time. Never say die attitude. You're a first-round pick. And I don't know what grade you had, but you came in here. You was given every opportunity. And I hate to see you on another team. I'm not going to follow the quarterback's lead. I hate to see you on another team. But now that you are, do what you have to do to maintain being on that team and be an asset for that team.
Counselor Nate. On that.
Yeah, listen to what Nate has to say.
Absolutely, yeah.
He knows a thing or two about this team. When we come back, we'll continue breaking down Dak Prescott's big day and what he was able to do to turn it around for the Cowboys in the third quarter. Big day for Dak Prescott. His 19 rushing touchdowns are the most by any quarterback who's entered the league since 2016. Let's go back out now, though, and hear from Dak Prescott at AT&T Stadium.
Dak, slow start, but great second half.
Appreciate it.
How does it feel to have two running backs over 100 yards today?
Yeah, it's great. It really is. That really is great. I mean, credit the offensive line, credit those two guys, credit the receivers out there blocking. The play calling, just a compliment. To have two backs both rush for 100 yards, that's great. I mean, that's complimentary still line, like I said, and just really the whole offense of being downhill and finishing the game the right way.
What's it say about this offense now that you probably weren't as crisp overall as you were in the first two games, but you go over 30 points, you go over 400 yards, and when you had those penalties to take yards away, you came right back and hit some big plays.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a great tape, to learn from. That was a team that played really, really hard. And as you said, we had a lot of penalties, and we stepped on our own feet a lot of the times that derailed us or cost us to punt the ball or not necessarily get points. And when you have those things, that takes for, as I said, good tape to learn from. So it's a lot of things that we can clean up, a lot of things that we can get better at. But like you said, to finish with 30 points, to finish the way we did, to play in the second half like we did with the energy, and just finishing it off, a lot of confidence going into this next week.
Played Jason Witten on the 3rd and 20, I think it was. Is that something you guys work on, or just how did it end up going the way?
Yeah, I mean, that's just playing football. Me playing a little backyard football and a guy that's played football for a long time. And able to get out of the pocket. The defender got off of him and came for me, and he just did a great job of keep running, great awareness play, and able to get the first down.
Talk about the interception in the first half or second quarter. And obviously, you had a lot of time. What were you thinking?
Right. Yeah, just bad by me. Great by the offensive line. I mean, went through every read probably 3 times, I guess, and then broke the pocket, and just bad by me. Yeah, just terrible. I mean, I think I saw both guys went to throw it, just kind of got away from me. I think I was looking at both of my guys at the same time, and just got away from me, and just wasn't a good play. As I said, another thing I can learn from me personally of, hey, just take the back. I mean, these guys are doing a great job protecting up front. Don't go out there and feel like I can make every throw. You know what I mean? Check it down and keep the play and keep the drive going. So.
You said yourself at halftime what they said.
He's funny today.
Yeah. He is funny.
It's easy to be in a good mood when you're 3-0 and when you have a third quarter performance like he did today. 9 of 9, 137 yards, a couple touchdowns. Anytime we've talked about this. If you have watched our postgame show, Bryan and Nate have said for years now, if Dak has like a balanced day, maybe a touchdown in the air, one on the ground, it's what you like, fellas.
He's very successful. I mean, and what we've seen now is when he decides to throw the ball, he's very crisp with it. His feet is set the most of the time because the offensive line is giving time. The fakes are carried out to the fullest, and when he lets that ball go now, he lets it rip.
I'll tell you what, you're seeing the ball with him these last 3 weeks going down the field. Even they're taking shots. You know, the one to Devin Smith that was incomplete, they're trying to get the ball down the field. There's been times with this offense with Dak that it wasn't the ball. That wasn't the case. Ball was going underneath, ball was short, but they're going for those chunk plays. They're trying to make as many of those big plays as they can. Offense has been really in that attack mode, and that's why Kellen Moore has got it going right now, because he's got his quarterback convinced, hey, you can make plays going down the field.
And it seemed like today, guys, Nate, you'll get a kick out of this, but the media, their thing this week was asking Dak about his mechanics and yes, every little detail of what he's changed. But I know as a former player and Bryan, former scout, you guys can talk about that, what you've seen from him differently.
His feet is set most of the time. I mean, and he's believing in what he's doing. He's understanding that when he needs to let it rip, he lets it rip. But when he needs to move around and take a second or third read, he does that. But his decision making and his confidence in what he's doing is just off the charts.
Yeah, he knew he made a bad throw on that interception. He told you, hey, I saw both my guys down the field. So that tells you his eyes were up and he was seeing what was going on. But his touch has been really good. We talk about, but we're not. Again, I was an NFL scout, Nate, professional football player himself. But there's things mechanically a quarterback. I mean, even as a scout, you think, well, his toe looks right, his knee looks right, his elbow looks right. But there's things that he's done that he knows that, okay, my back foot, when I used to throw the ball, came up off the ground. If I keep my back foot down, it makes me more balanced. It gives my ball more trajectory. There's clearly more pace on his football than what we've seen from him in the past. I mean, whatever they've done with him, whether it's point the knee, point the toe, back foot down, throw the shoulder, whatever he's doing, it's obviously working.
When he hit the third, the fifth, or the seventh step, he is believing in his pre-reads.
Right.
When you believe in your pre-reads, that means you knowing that your receiver's going to be there, he's letting it go. And it looks nice, it looks cleaner, and it makes him stand tall and be proud to do it. Yes.
Yep.
Offensive line, Travis Frederick being back, Lyle Collins playing better. This line's hard to get past. They really are.
Good protection from them today. We're going to take a look at what's ahead for the Cowboys, though, right after this.
The Cowboys OT was brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Wendy's. Wendy's one and only spicy nuggets are back on the menu. Available at participating Wendy's for a limited time only. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Sure is nice to be 3-0 going into these teams. Obviously, the Eagles lost earlier today, too, so that's good. But, yeah, it's never fun to go to New Orleans. I don't care who's at quarterback.
No, not at all. That will still be a tough game. Now, the thing that's good for you in that case is no Drew Brees. But also, though, the Saints have been out on the West Coast now for 2 weeks. They played the Rams. They got the Seahawks. And we'll see how that all plays out. That might be a beat-up football team by the time they get back to
Bryan, Broaddus, Nate Newton. I am Lindsay Draper. We thank you for tuning in to Cowboys OT. Sean Payton, we're looking at you, and we'll see you next week.